Ah, the Sega Mega Drive, that glorious piece of 16-bit hardware from Japan in 1989. A treat for the senses, a feat for the eyes. What in the name of Atari Lynx's mother is this thing? Well, this, friends, is the Media Mega Drive. That's right, I had no blooming clue either. But I did take note of these iconic gaming images on the front. We've got the Outrun car up there, the turtles in two differing art styles, the Silver Surfer over there, him, that, all these people. Suffice to say it's familiar, although at least they haven't plonked Mario or Sonic on the front. The Mega Drive logo is also very familiar, as is the tessellated box design, although the console looks like it's fallen from the back of Del Boy's van and bounced several times down the road. On the side we have a blurb. Now, experience the unknown. Yeah, quite literally. The power, the sound, the excitement. Only on your Media Mega Drive. We'll get to the rest in just a second. First, let's delve into this box of incredulity. I should also mention that I found this through a random eBay retro hardware search and paid the sum of £25 for it. Okay, so we've got the Media Mega Drive logo on the poly insert as well, which is a nice attention to detail, as well as a handwritten number, 176. This could imply there was another 175 of these boxes shipped beforehand. Under that we have a plethora of wonder, and look, there's that number again. Here's the manual. Apparently, models or specifications are subject to change without notice. Inside we get a blurb similar to the box blurb. The Media Mega Drive, the most advanced that technology has to offer, built with components from Sony of Japan. Yeah, I bet there's a single Sony capacitor in there, and it's probably fake. The complete system nobody has offered so far. Games you may want, in combinations of 250x1, 100x1, 52x1, 21x, etc. These are starting to sound like room measurements. Anyway, that take you to worlds unthinkable, unimaginable. Now let's get set and read on because there's so much to do. But remember, handle with care, your Media Mega Drive could drive you to ecstasy. Good grief. Your Media Mega Drive is the only system in the world with the Turbo Drive cordless remote controls. That must be this chubby one here. Your Media Mega Drive also provides you with a sleek sharpshooter laser gun. Yep, check. Your 3-speed laser gun is so accurate that you could shoot down from a distance of 6 foot. What? 3 speed? What is this, a Morris Minor? Your exciting world of fantasy comes in a multi-game cartridge. Games that will keep you going on and on. You'd never like to stop. Yep, here it is. It appears I have a 64x1 model containing all of these wonders. We've got Bros 2, Big Apes 1, 2 and 3, Wrestle and Fast Brothers 2, among numerous others. We've also got 2 wired controllers, an RF box, the power brick and the console itself, with handy slots on the side for the wired controllers, just like the Famicom. Yes, this is feeling like a Famicom clone already. There's also an eject button, the Media Mega Drive logo twice, and 2 reset buttons. One to reset upwards and one to reset downwards, I have no idea. We've also got 2 15-pin control ports and an IR sensor on the front. There are more connectors on the back than I'd imagined. We have RF, a power connector, composite connections, headphones and the power switch. The label on the bottom tells us the serial number and that it is indeed a power system and that it consumes about 11 watts of power. Media Video Limited is clearly a very nonchalant company. Alrighty then, let's get this hooked up to a screen. I'm going to follow the connection diagram and use the audio/video terminal rather than RF. We've got a 2-pin European plug here which can just be plugged straight into an adapter. Thankfully, my 64-in-1 cartridge works absolutely fine, and straight away we can see it's packed with NES/Famicom games. You probably already guessed that. There's nothing particularly special about the titles on offer here, although we do have speeded up versions of some games, such as the Fast Brothers game. NES cartridges won't work in this machine, or they won't fit without an adapter at least. But Famicom carts will, and as you can see, the Famicom version of Duck Hunt works absolutely fine. Well, apart from the screen corruption, but with some light blowing, all is well. Despite my fine acting here, the light gun doesn't seem to work anymore, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and presume it did when new. The upper reset button does absolutely nothing either, but the bottom one works an absolute treat. The main controller features 2 turbo buttons in addition to the normal controls. Player 2's controller is the same but lacking select and start, and we also have this infrared controller which can be assigned to either player 1 or player 2 and works from a fair distance. Well, apparently. I mean, mine doesn't work at all. So what is this machine? Well, aesthetically it looks like a cross between a Mega Drive, a Master System and a Famicom. And if you bash past the aesthetic, then yes, it is indeed a Famicom clone, or a Famiclone as they're known. This type of machine is of course nothing new. They've been made, often in Taiwan, but also places like Russia and India, since the 80s. But this machine stands out because, on first glance of the branding alone, it appeared to be some kind of Mega Drive hybrid made by an alternative manufacturer. In any case, it still leaves me interested as to why this branding was adopted and how it was distributed, especially in the UK. A rapid Google search delivers only one real entry of intrigue. It's a Planet Arbitrary post by Pat B on December the 12th, 2011. It seems that Pat had acquired one of these machines and was intrigued enough to investigate. Pat's clearly a man of my own heart. Written here, Pat says he picked up his from a thrift store. I wanted more information than this, so I contacted him, lovely chap, and he informed me that it came from a Goodwill in Naperville, Illinois, USA. It doesn't appear that these machines were sold in North America, so it must have been imported. Pat's machine came without box and in a slightly sorry state, lacking some of its peripherals, but Pat was taken by the branding the same as I was. Like mine, Pat's controllers stated built with Sony components from Japan, and also like me, Pat concluded that Sony clearly had no idea their logo was stamped on this machine. Pat had one of the Media original cartridges containing various Famicom titles such as Contra, Excite Bike, Galaza and Duck, along with a Super Nintendo-esque 188-in-1 cart. 188-in-1, that wasn't one of the combinations noted on my box. What the hell is this, a counterfeit of a counterfeit? This is one deep rabbit hole. Pat's Media Mega Drive is also a PAL model, and it has the serial number 950711299, whereas mine is 920816176. Now, I doubt very much that they made millions of these machines. I mean, of course they didn't. But if you look to the left it says B-No, which I presume stands for batch and number. The number also has a very slight gap between the 81 and the 61. So my first guess was that this is some kind of batch number 92,081 and this is machine number 6,176. But then of course the box says 176 on it, so maybe this is batch, or whatever that means, 920,816 and simply machine number 176. That's a pretty low number. This would make Pat's machine number 299. But as one of my patrons, Hikari, pointed out, maybe those batch numbers are dates, so the 16th of August 1992 and the 11th of July 1995. The plot thickens. But anyway, Pat's post is from December 2011, and it would appear that Media Video Limited still had a running website back then. The logo on their website matches the logo on the Media Mega Drive, so it's almost certain they are the right company. Their website is now offline, but using the wonder of the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine, we can have a better look. So we've got images here collected since 2002, and it appears to have gone offline sometime in 2014. The interesting thing is that during its entire lifetime the site wasn't updated whatsoever. The June 13th 2013 capture is identical to November 24th 2002 capture, including some pages which remained under construction for that entire duration. That's some slack webmastering. We can see they produced TV games, educational computers, rechargeable lights, fans and torches. You can even subscribe to the Media Kids Club, which offered a surprise gift. I imagine it was an animated GIF. Or GIF, whatever you prefer. Anyway, I'm interested in their TV games, and it seems they certainly weren't shy to swiping the names of better known machines. They've got the Game Boy on offer here, and they've even had the cheek to throw in a trademark logo. But then I'm not sure whether they're trying to claim it's their own trademark or just acknowledging it's a trademark they're stealing. The Game Boy promises to razor sharpens your guts, speed and skills, and you emerge a winner. Sounds quite painful to me. They're also offering the Future Zone, which comes with 2 turbo joysticks, a laser gun and a lead wire. Don't forget the lead wire. There's a WizKid, the Little Master 1, the Little Master 2, which requires heavy-duty AC adapters, and look, there's also a 16-bit TV game section. But even here, there's no mention of the Media Mega Drive. I would love to know what an RF cord sounds like though. But ultimately, I can't find any trace of these other consoles online either, so all of these machines are pretty elusive nowadays. A quick search of Companies House reveals that Media Video Limited was a UK company which traded from the 23rd of November 2001 to the 30th of April 2013, and that ties in with the website's uptime. Its directors were Mark Beals and Jonathan Collins, and the company's largest profit was during its first year of trading at £3,616. If you look on the website's contact page, it lists Media Video Limited's contact address and phone number as being in India. In fact, despite appearing as an English site, it's actually directed at the Indian market, mentioning Media's exclusive chain of retail showrooms in the region. So maybe this UK company was just a localised face for this larger operation, one which was based here on this New Delhi industrial park. If we have another look at the manual, there's a warranty card with the same address, so that tallies, but then the date of purchase has been filled in as the 25th of the 8th, 1992. That doesn't tie in with this UK company whatsoever. Apparently the dealer's name was Arrow and the chassis number is 17892, so we've got what, 3 serial numbers now? Armed with this knowledge, I went back to the outer packaging and found this label lurking on the bottom. Aside from the cool free mega offer sticker, this label next to it certainly confirms the 176 machine number and has a date of the 17th of August 1992, so that corroborates with the warranty card. It seems evident that I'm going to have to crack this thing up to check the contents. A straightforward task consisting of just 4 screws on the bottom. Remember that handheld we looked at the other day? Yeah, well this is what a Family clone from the 90s looks like inside, quite a bit different. Now I can't see any Sony components in here on first glance, but we do have some Hyundai chips and a couple of Philips chips also. Now this UMC UA6527P is a hybrid CPU used in the Dendy console, a popular Taiwanese Famiclone distributed in Russia from 1992 onwards. These chips also have a date code of the 10th week of 1992, so that checks out with the date on the box and the warranty card. In fact, all these chips date to around the same era. Thinking about this, if we go back to Pat's blog post, his machine had a media seal with a year, I presume, of 1995. So if my machine is from 1992, then we can presume these machines were made for at least 3 years. I mentioned my machine number is 176 and Pat's was 299, and if those batch numbers really are dates, then all of this tallies quite well, but I still find it hard to imagine they only made a couple of hundred of these over 3 years, although I guess it is completely possible. So, a bit more digging, this time on the Indian Registrar of Companies, and although there's no Media Video Limited presently, there is a company called Noesis Industries Limited. Their website looks like it's been made by a high school student in 1997, but that's not important. What is important is that Noesis Industries Limited were known as MVL Industries Limited up until 2014, and before that they were called, Media Video Limited. Now this company was founded on the 11th of December 1986 and took to task manufacturing pre-recorded video cassettes, emerging as one of the main manufacturers of both pre-recorded and blank video cassettes in northern India in 1991, whilst also holding several hundred copyrights for feature films. Apparently because this seems difficult to corroborate. Clearly they decided that they didn't want to have too many legitimate copyrights, and so decided around the same time to start manufacturing Famiclones, which is how our Media Mega Drive came to pass, making its way across Europe in the early to mid-90s. I can only then speculate that in 2002 they either decided to set up a legitimate UK operation for distributing their wares into the UK, or our director friends decided to set themselves up as importers of these goods under the same name. Perhaps they just got hold of some surplus stock and decided to sell it. That would explain why there was only really any turnover in the first year of operation. It's also possible that this UK company has nothing to do with the Media Video Limited of India whatsoever, despite sharing the same business nature and trading name. Either way, its existence doesn't really affect the story of our Media Mega Drive, because by this point, these models were seemingly out of production, leaving only these other systems and devices listed on the website. So then this isn't a Famiclone from the noughties, it's a clone from the 90s which rode on the Mega Drive name, but was apparently not that popular. It's not like it was alone either. Famiclones like the MD1 were also available in the 90s, and they went a step further with the Mega Drive aesthetic. It probably would have been pretty cool to fire up your Mega Drive, only to have Mario running around on screen. But the novelty would have quickly worn thin, especially if you thought you were getting a real Mega Drive for Christmas. It feels that like while legitimate clones, well, I say legitimate, like the Scorpion 16, which was featured on Bad Influence, tried to capitalise on the active game market through cloning current technology, these Frankenstein clones tried to simply penetrate, either through deception or blissful ignorance, into the low-cost end of the market by simply riding on the branding. The back alley distribution links these machines arrived through were simply a forerunner before sellers cottoned onto websites like eBay and Aliexpress to sell their knockoff goods. For me, it's just a fascinating dip into recent history. I don't know if Sega or Nintendo ever jumped onto these machines, but I suspect, like the vast majority, they slipped onto the radar, landing in various homes, and probably remain lurking in some attics throughout the world. As for this beauty, I'll probably stick it on a shelf for now and dream of a past full of clones. If you have one of these yourself, please do let me know, and perhaps we can shed some further light on this niche piece of gaming history. As for Noesis Limited, well, they were involved with the manufacture of consumer electronics up until a number of years ago, but don't really do much of anything today, having operated at a loss for the past number of years. It exists now essentially as a shell company, that is, a non-trading company retained for other reasons. Those reasons could be its various listed subsidiaries, such as Cool Auto Limited, who manufacture car solar screens and the like, and they still seem to be operating. As for the controllers, do they have Sony components? Well, actually, no, of course they don't. Thank you very much for watching this strange look into an Indian Famiclone, but feel free to hang around and watch more videos, or subscribe, or even contribute to my Patreon account to keep my channel going. It really means a lot. Anyway, thank you for watching this, and I hope you have a great evening.